2, and 1. And welcome back to the CSS podcast. I'm your host, Dave Wolfers. Gentleman in the middle is my son, Sam, and the gentleman to our right is Charlie Crawley. We are coming live again on Facebook, or not Facebook, but YouTube. We could be live on Facebook eventually, but right now we're just trying to work out all the kinks on YouTube. So there we are. We are live, so we're good to go. So, gentlemen, how was your? I know we were just here on Wednesday. So how was your weekend? I guess.
Pretty good. Nice, low 70s so far this weekend. So good weather out here, anyways.
Yeah, it's lucky
out here. Yeah,
rainy. We had hail. So yeah, but we're live, ready to go. Let me see. Yep, we are streaming, so we're good.
The Romans are coming.
Yep, the Romans are coming. The Romans are coming. All right. So we're going to get into a couple of things here. The week that was, we'll talk FC Cincinnati, followed by the Reds, and then we'll do our Bengals draft review and our draft grades for the AFC North trivia. And then we've got our topic of the week, Unbreakable Sports Records. So with that, FC Cincinnati, they had their U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday when we were on. They did win that game 1-0, and then traveled to New England, had a tie 1-1. Noonan was he didn't go all out and said that the officiating caused the loss, but
he just didn't want the fine, probably.
Right. He didn't want the fine. He did say that it was chaotic and that there was the head ref wasn't in control of the match. So, but he did say that, that didn't cause us to lose the game. We're tied the game. But I didn't get a chance to watch it. Did any of you guys watch it at all?
Did not, no.
No. Okay. You got any recaps from the U.S. Open Cup or the New England? Anything you want to add to that?
I mean, we advanced in the U.S. Open Cup, beat Louisville 1-0. So, they're a tier below us, but that's still that's a rivalry game. So to win that and, have bragging rights over, the other city on the Ohio River is pretty good. So from that standpoint, that's good. I don't the New England game. 1-1 draw, share the points, still tied for first. So, there's not really any absolute negatives coming out of the game, but there's not really any positives either. So,
okay. What about you, Crawley? Got anything?
Yeah, I would say the main positive is they went one of the best teams in the MLS and at least got a draw at their place. So, that's always tough. You go to road games obviously are tougher than home games, and so to go on the road and get a draw there, especially after the last road game, which was St. Louis, and they got blistered there. So to go to a team that's considered even better than St. Louis, which is New England, and get a draw there shows improvement, shows whatever the reason was, they were able to the St. Louis game hopefully again was an outlier, and we won't see it again this year. So that's my main positive is just more continue the momentum. They're technically in second place, FC Cincy now, just because of a goal differential with New England. So, and I believe their next 4 games are at home, including the next U.S. Open Cup game. So this should be, May should be a good, has the potential to be a good month for them to set them up to maybe pull ahead a little bit for, till about the midpoint, because if you get through these next 3 games or the May games, you're close to the midpoint as you enter June. So this is the time FC Cincinnati needs to take advantage of when you got all these home games coming up. So and they're not the strongest teams either. So
right, yeah. From what I thought they had 4 out of their next 5, or 4 out of 5 were home.
Well, they don't play on the road again until May 27th. So
May 27th. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's probably the next 4 are home, and then their 5th one is away. So yeah. So and their next game is DC United. So hopefully, they'll be able to go back on the W column here shortly and recapture first place.
And they did get the Brenner situation figured out, so he is officially going to be gone as of June, some point in June. But if you depending on who you're talking to, which side of it you're talking from, FC Cincinnati side is if we need him to play, he's playing. Whereas the Italian side would rather him just sit out and go put him around on the practice field and get ready to transfer over in June. But for what I read is FC Cincinnati said no, he's on the roster. He's not transferred until June, so we need him. We're going to play him. So be ready.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Which they should, unless Udinese is going to throw some more money on top of it, because I mean that's a roster spot that he takes up that we don't have available if that's what they're going to try and do for him. So yeah, I mean Santos is our leading goal scorer, so I don't necessarily say you have to start him, but I think he should be made available, and if we need him to play, he should play.
Right.
Yep. Speaking of gone, the Reds' winning streak snapped at 5. Was the longest in Major League Baseball this week. So, they couldn't shut the door down. I don't know who got the loss because
I think Diaz did, unless somebody was in there before him. But when I came in, when I came in back into the house, he was pitching and they had guys on. So
yeah, he probably started the 9th and didn't get him out. So, the Reds go, they go 5-1 in their last 6 games. We talked about the Rangers games last week.
Actually, real quick, sorry, I was wrong. The law firm took the loss.
Oh, Derek.
So he must have started the 9th and gave up a hit and they brought Diaz in to try to shut it down.
And
try to get out of it. Yeah,
that's why you go with your closer right away in the 9th, because they can't come in halfway through. I don't think so. They're just not mentally prepared to do something like that. But that's David Bell took Lodoto out after 70 pitches, and Nick was visibly upset at that. From the article that I read. But I think David Bell wanted to win the game, and because the next 2 guys up really hurt him earlier in the game. So David just said, nope, I'm managing this, and here we go. So we'll see what happens. But I think Nick has to figure something out, because the last 3 games, he hasn't been real sharp. I know he had 7 strikeouts today, but gave up. He had 4 hits, 3 runs. So
he was better today than he had been, but he is pitching against the A's, who are like a AAA team. So.
Right. They're the affiliates. They might not even be a AAA team. They only got 6 victories. I mean, the Reds might be the AAA team, and they could be high AA. But anyhow, it was a good week overall for the Reds. I will take 5-1 out of 5 out of 6 every week. Heck, I'll take 4 out of 6 every week too, if we can.
But 3 out of 6 is
3 out of 6 is yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna complain at that either, because they've got San Diego. They got to go out to San Diego for 3, which will be tough, and then they have the White Sox, who are playing horrendous baseball, coming to town for 3 as well. So
they've got guys who are just not even running to first base.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
First at bat of the game.
Yep, just jogging down the baseline, and pitcher almost throws it away, or he bounced
He two-hopped it.
And he wasn't even close. So, yeah. So there's some disgruntled people in Chicago land on the south side, but let's let them keep being disgruntled until they come to Cincy, and then we can sweep them as well. But moving on for the top performers, pitching wise, who do you guys got? I mean, it's just 3 games because we added, last week's Texas games in our podcast on Wednesday. So just from the A's 4 games, who do you think's the top pitcher or pitchers?
I had he wasn't as good today. I had Lucas Sims for coming back from injury and being the Sims that we need. I would even say we need. We need someone that has some experience in the bullpen and has actual ability, not just put together with glue and straw and whatever else, Buck Farmer and Ian Jabot and these
and
guys
puff
are.
and blow the house down, right?
Rand Veer, whatever his name is. So we need Sims. We don't. It's beyond just wanting him to be good. We need him to be good. So
you're not going with Casey Linguini?
He's been pretty decent.
He pitched pretty well,
But I went Sims. So until today, he hadn't given up a hit this week. He'd gone a couple innings, no hit. Like, he hadn't given up a hit since he's been back, since he's been called back up. So today he actually didn't give up a hit today. He had a walk, but still no hits in. So I'll stick with Sims.
Good, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, Sims is a good one. I wanted to try and go with a starter. To me, it would probably be Hunter Green. What was it, Saturday? Went 5 strong, struck out 10. He did walk 3, so he's got to kind of get that control back under control there. 112 pitches and 5 innings. He still needs to work on his efficiency. But the strikeout pitch is there for him. And I think that's key for him. I wouldn't mind seeing him go 5 innings with 8 Ks instead of 10. If that meant, his pitch efficiency was better. He wasn't walking as many guys. But I think that's a good start for him on Saturday.
Yeah. I had Hunter Green as one of the categories or one of the pitchers, but Alex Young has come in relief and has done a really, really nice job for him. He had Saturday, he pitched 1 1/3 inning, struck out 2, no hits. That other, left-handed reliever out of the bullpen. I think, we need that. And hopefully he can gain, Bell's trust for high leverage situations and come in and, and shut the door down. So, I went with Alex Young for the pitcher of the week. Hitters of the week.
Well, I'll say real quick something you just said. If I don't think it's going to be real hard to gain his trust in the bullpen. I mean, if you go 1 inning without giving up any danger, you gain his trust. I mean, you should be automatically put into high leverage situations. So.
Well, the problem is when you get people like Derek Law and Buck Farmer who have one good outing, and then David Bell wants to rush him out there every single time. So it's a little scary if you think about it. So yeah, you might have to sustain that for a couple of innings at least. Hitters then, anybody?
I went with Henry Ramos. He's had a hit every game since he's been called up. Friday he had a 2-hit game, drew 2 walks also. Yesterday he had a hit. Today he has a hit, drew a couple more walks in those 2 games. I mean, give him his props, 31-year-old journeyman type dude. So if he can stick around and get, basically a full year under his belt here in the big leagues, good for him. So he's been off to a hot start and he's earned some playing time at the very least. So
yeah. I considered him. I went with my new favorite player, Nick Senzel. Hit another homer today. So
yes, he did.
I think the Reds have hit like 4 homers the entire year, and he has 2 of them now. So Vossler has the other 2.
Vossler has the other 2.
He's not even on the team anymore.
Exactly.
So I think he still leads the team in home runs, which is pathetic. But
Vossler has tied. 2, I think.
No, I think he has. Didn't he have 3? I thought he had 3.
No, he only had 2.
Oh, well, that still might be tied for the team lead. Him and Senzel.
Well, does Senzel have 3 now?
I'm looking up
No,
some stats
Senzel
here.
has 2.
Senzel has 2. Okay.
Yep.
Huh.
So anyway, my point is that Senzel has been beyond the 2 home runs. He batted. I'm looking at the whole week, but he batted .471 today. He was 2 for 4, so he actually would have taken that closer to maybe 500 now for the week.
Yeah.
Bossler
I'll go
has
with
3 home runs.
Oh, he has
by
3
the way,
home runs.
so he's
Oh,
still
I was right.
still
I
on the
thought
team
Bossler
lead.
had 3. Yeah.
Gosh,
Yep.
That's the MVP, of our team.
They had a good question
Brandon
today.
Drury.
Speaking of Vossler, there was on the Riverfront. The question I saw who was the better JV player on the Reds, and their first comment was, "Well, there's a million JV players. How are we figuring that out?" And they're like, "No, initials JV, not JV level."
Yeah.
And it was Vossler versus
Joey Votto.
No, it wasn't Votto. It was Van. What was it? God, now I forget what his
Van
name
Meter,
was.
Josh
Van Meter, yeah, Josh Van Meter, yeah.
Well, that's
they were
JVM.
debating.
So
They were debating on who was the better JV, Josh Van Meter or Jason Vossler. So, yeah, Josh Van
Who
Meter
knows?
won because he actually played like 100 games versus Jason Vossler will never be seen again after 20 games. So
probably not. Yeah. I don't know. You might see him at Walmart, something like that. But
you might see him on the A's. I don't know.
You might. Yeah, I know. The A's may pick him up. Hey.
Trade him.
Well, I think he cleared waivers, so he's in.
Oh yeah, he's in AAA now.
So he's still in our organization. Yeah.
He'll come up. They'll need a left-handed bat.
And they brought Mark Reynolds up. I mean, anybody could come up. So.
And his first at bat ended in an automatic strikeout because he wasn't ready in the batter's box. So, welcome to the show. You're out of here. But he did rebound and get a double. So,
I was going to say you've got to send somebody back down if they do that in the first at bat.
First at bat. Oh my gosh.
You should have.
It wasn't like the first pitch.
Sent him back to Louisville.
It was for the strikeout.
Well, right,
strikeout,
but gets punched out on that.
I know, and it's just it's weird, but oh well. Hitting wise, I had it was between Ramos and Senzel, but I was leaning towards Senzel just because of the pop in the bat. Now, if Ramos goes another 4 games and 4 hits, have a 10-game hitting streak, then yeah, he might be the best hitter we've seen in a long time here in Cincinnati, at least since Billy Hatcher in the World Series, right? So, but yeah. So, worst performers of the week, or who should be demoted already? You got anybody for that? DFA somebody?
Mark Reynolds for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, that's an easy one right there. I didn't have him necessarily, but now you just said that. Oh, absolutely. He's the easy one. He should have been demoted before he got on the field. I mean, he should not be on this team ever. I mean, come on. So
Injuries,
I'm going Mark Reynolds.
Will Myers injury. They got to bring somebody up, right?
I'd rather have Jason Vossler here.
Team leader in home runs?
Yeah, exactly. Mark Reynolds is leading the team and called whatever the pitch clock violations now.
Automatic strikeouts.
Right. So I'm going him. Like he's a clear number 1 for me.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's a unanimous. Mark Reynolds, congratulations. You are on your way back to Louisville.
Now the only problem is I just pulled up Lance McAllister's tweet, and I got we might have a new demotion. The entire Louisville team's going back to Chattanooga.
Yes.
They have given up 50 runs in 4 games.
50
runs in 4 games.
18, 1, 18, and 3, and then 12.
13. No, 13.
13. Yeah. Yeah. So, and they lost 18 to 17 one of those games.
You can't tell me that Dayton, who's a low A team, playing the same AAA team, whoever they play, would have given up 50 runs. I bet they wouldn't have. That's awful.
Chattanooga, I don't know if you saw De La Cruz hit his first home run in AAA there at Chattanooga or wherever they played. And Louisville. Well, no, they weren't in Louisville.
No, but Chattanooga is the Reds AA team.
Yeah, but whoever they were playing, I don't know who they were playing today, but it was wherever they were playing. He hit one. I guess it was yesterday. He hit one. And he was so disgusted. He thought it was a pop-up, right? And he, just disgusting. And the ball just kept going and going and going. And it cleared the fence. The wind helped, but it left at 107 off his bat, but it was like a 39. The launch angle was like 39 degrees. I mean, it was like way up there, and it just got caught in the jet stream. So he hit his first dinger in AAA, but he needs to, he'll hit, but it's going to take him a while to adjust. I think, in a couple of weeks down there, then we'll start seeing how good he really is. But the scary thing, right? I read some of his, some of the comments from Lance McAllister's tweet there. And the scary thing is that, all these are the prospects that we want up, right? But a lot of it has to do with pitching as well. But
yeah, their pitching's not very good.
Pitching was not very good. But obviously the hitting, if you're not scoring. I mean, the one game they did score a lot of runs, but other than that, they didn't score that many runs. So, hopefully it was just a bad week for the boys, for the Bats. Any other thoughts on the Reds this week?
Well, I know, what's his name? Abbott. I think he's AA pitcher. He was the pitcher of the month, or he's probably going to be the minor league pitcher of the month. He had some really good numbers in AA.
Yeah, he got called up to AAA.
Yeah, they moved him up to AAA. Yeah.
So I don't know if he pitched his any of those
AA
games or not, but
he had he faced like 60 something batters and struck out 40 or something like that. So he was really dominant in AA.
Yeah, the one thing that a lot of older Reds fans, they say Abbott reminds people of Tom Browning, just the way he quick work. Granted with the pitch clock, but even without the pitch clock, he's a fast worker. And part of it's left-handed. He has a little funky delivery, but he gets the ball and he goes. And that's refreshing. But in the pitch clock era now, all pitchers have to move a little faster. All right, we're going to go to our Bengals news and notes here. We're going to do our little draft review. Each one of us had on our show last week. If you watched us or listened to us, we went through the entire 31 picks, and it was I had pick number 1, Crawley had 2, and Sam had 3, and we just rotated all the way through. It looked very, very promising after the first 3. We were batting 1,000. We nailed Young, Stroud, and Will Anderson. And then the wheels fell off at 4. I went Will Levis, and it was AR-15.
You weren't even the right
It wasn't
round.
even close. No. But and then after that, it was just like a crapshoot. I mean, guys were being plucked here and there, and we weren't even close.
We probably didn't get one more right, did we?
We did not get any more right.
I didn't figure we did.
Yeah. We got the first 3, and I was like, "Ooh, hey, we should be Mel Kiper Juniors." But after that, it was bad. So with that, let's talk about you guys happy with the picks? Anything, because our first 3 rounds we didn't get right either. We weren't even close.
So just take on the Bengals draft now?
Yeah, right now, just the overall. What's your take on the draft? And then we'll get into the rest of the, we'll give them a grade here, and then we'll move to the rest of the AFC North. But your overall thoughts on their selections?
It was it's becoming a pretty standard Bengals draft. I gave it a B+. Nothing flashy. They very much, just like their free agency, they base it on value. And so, they did not deviate from their board to jump up. I knew they would not trade up to get guys. There was, several times when I was like, hey, they could trade up and get this guy or that guy, which a lot of teams do, but that's not the Bengals MO. So, they stand pat. They keep they were drafting it was boring really, because they were drafting 30th every round. And it was just like, oh God, twiddle my thumbs, watch all the good guys that I'm hoping he'll get just go off the board before they even have a chance, which they could have again jumped up, but a lot of teams do, but they just don't do it. So I gave him B plus. I mean, the Miles Murphy thing. I mean, for why they picked him, I can see why. I mean, I totally understand it. I mean, you can never have enough, guys that can rush the quarterback. So, and Hendrickson's got a pretty big contract coming up, and so I could see a lot of talk of him. This maybe his last year, if Miles Murphy can step up this year, and he would become the new starter the following year. So I could see that. But even if he's not the starter, you bring him in situationally. They say he can play inside if necessary. He's just kind of a freak athlete for his size. So I like that. There's a few little things that I'm like, why would you have done that? Or, why are you going to do that? I think a lot of people are giving him A's. I only give him a B because of a lack of aggressiveness. I just, for me, everything's about 2023. I compare it to the Eagles and their draft and what the Eagles do. That the Eagles are A plus for what they do because they're aggressive as hell. They trade a 4th rounder for DeAndre Swift. Bengals could have traded a 4th rounder for DeAndre Swift. So that to me is my only drawback is they should be more aggressive. They need to be trying to win the Super Bowl this year and not be worrying about 2026 and and those kind of things. So that's my take.
Yeah, I've warmed up to a Miles Murphy pick there in the first round. On draft night, I was a little disappointed in it. It's because I didn't think that was what they needed in the first round, right? I didn't think, an edge guy was what they should have went after in the first round. And then, when Nolan Smith was still there, I was like, well, he took the wrong edge guy. But kind of reading everything about Murphy and what the Bengals like in their defensive ends. I mean, Murphy was always going to be the guy. It was never going to be Nolan Smith, who's probably more of an outside linebacker in a 3-4 type of scheme, just because of his size, being right. 240, 245, where Murphy's the 260, 265 type of guy. And that's what they like. That's what all their defensive ends are. I thought, Joey Porter Jr. could have been the pick there at corner. But
he was never coming to Cincinnati. He was never coming to Cincinnati.
I mean, has there ever been a more Pittsburgh pick in the entire history of the NFL? I don't think so. They ended up getting DJ Turner in the second. So, I think that works out just fine. So, I mean, overall, I'm B range with their grade. I know PFF really liked their draft. They gave them an A, second best draft grade that they gave out. So, I mean, even, their later round picks, Charlie Jones there in the 4th round. I think that's,
I like that one
that's
a lot.
Tyler Boyd's replacement.
Well, you like it because he's a Boilermaker. So,
well, he's an unanimous All-American.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
he's going to
more catches than anybody in the.
He's your punt returner that you wanted. You wanted Trent Taylor to get out of here. So there's your new punt returner.
That's I don't care if he caught a ball all in this upcoming year as long as he returns punts. So
he's going to be Tyler Boyd's replacement down the line. That was a
slot receiver
there.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. I gave him an A-. Looking at all the grades, everybody was giving them A's except for Mel Kiper Jr. He gave him B+ because they didn't draft a tight end. Mel thought they were going tight end, and they didn't draft a tight end until late. I liked him. The Miles Murphy pick at first, I was like Sam, man, Nolan Smith would have been, but that's not the type that the Bengals go after. And they, you listen to Zach Taylor's comments after the pick. He goes, yeah, it threw us off. We didn't think he was going to be there. And so then it questions, okay, who would they take who would they have, taken if Murphy was off the board? Would have been Mayer, Michael, the tight end, or would it have been a cornerback, right? Would have been Forbes, but Forbes was gone early.
He went way early.
He went to the Commanders, I think, at 16. So, which, that no one saw that coming either. But overall, day one was, it's, and you said this, Crawley, before on the show. It's the Bengals didn't reach because of need. They went with best player available, and basically it's it's a depth now, right? Our defense, if you look at our two deep defense, it could be the best in the league as far as athleticism. Granted, we have some rookies there, but our secondary is. I mean, if Louisier comes back and to his form, I mean, our secondary could be outstanding. And with these younger kids, I think the only question I'd have would be why go punter in the 6th round? He would have been there, I think, in the 7th round. And in the 6th round, you could have gotten a better cornerback than our DJ. The rap
DJ
artist.
Ivy.
Yeah. But
I think
so that's
yeah.
that's the only question, because I think there was, can't remember there was another cornerback. I mean, this doesn't, you're going to think it's biased, but it's not. But Corey Trice from Purdue was there, and he went 4 picks to the Steelers, right, ahead of the Bengals. So, but they maybe value this guy better than Trice, which when you're in the 6th, 7th round, and you're getting corners, they've got some flaws. So. But
yeah,
overall,
I was going to say, I think a little bit of the punter. One, it tells you what they think of Chrisman.
Right.
There's one, and I think it's somewhat of a reaction to the last punt he made, maybe ever, for the Bengals, and the fact that granted, you don't lose a game on one punt, but it definitely was one of the dominoes falling that led to the defeat against the Chiefs. So, So I think all that played into it, and he's sitting there. I mean, whatchamacallit, who took their kicker in the 3rd round. So I mean, you're talking
San Fran.
You're really going full. You're really going hardcore when you're doing that kind of stuff. So
right.
So yeah.
Well, was it the Patriots? They took a kicker and a punter. Was the first time since the Raiders did that in like 2000 or 2001?
Yeah, with Janikowski
and Leckler or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, I think that there will be, the training camp battle. I guess I don't know if it was Lance or if it was another Bengal blogger put out on Twitter. Which no, I think it was Kelsey Conaway, the a beat reporter. She put, which position battle are you most interested in, the right tackle or the punter? Right. Ohio State versus Michigan. They both were number 91 in college. So we'll see what we'll see if Blue or OH comes out victorious there. The one good thing is, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say another one would be that second safety with drafting Jordan Battle.
I mean, that was a good one.
That's probably their best pick, honestly, in the 3rd round to get him.
Yeah.
I think he could win that second safety, the strong safety spot, and replace Von Bell day 1. So
we could.
That'll be interesting for me to see, anyways.
Yeah, and then Zach Taylor did come out today and said Joe Mixon is RB1. So Chase Brown, very productive at Illinois. He had the second or 3rd most broken tackles as a running back this past season. The only problem is, I mean, he was a bell cow for the Illini. I mean, they ran the ball a lot with him over his 4 years there. So, or 3 years, however many he went. But so he's got a little wear and tear. But
can he be the receiving back?
I don't know.
He had 27 catches, so he's decent. I say he's got decent.
He's just got Callahan said that all rookies running backs have to understand the pass protection, and that's what could limit him on 3rd downs. But
that's the biggest question, because Joe Mixon still doesn't get that.
Right.
So I mean, who's going to be the 3rd down back?
Yeah.
Because they don't like Evans. So
no, they don't.
Right. He's never gotten there. He's never had a shake. Yeah,
because he can't block.
That's right. Travion Williams. So he's the other one sitting there. But
yeah.
I mean, that's one area I was a little disappointed still in the running back situation. I think it shows you how almost unconcerned they are about the running back situation. Joe Mixon, he's washed up. He just is. I mean, he didn't. I mean, if you really look back at last season, he did not run very well. You can't tell me he did.
No, he had one good game, the Carolina game. That was it.
Yeah. So they don't replace him. I mean, they bring a 5th rounder. I mean, they had their choice of guys all throughout the whole draft.
I think they signed an undrafted guy too, but
they did.
So I think it's just the issue of they just don't value it that much. Period. They're going to throw the ball 80% of the time. So why do I need to invest a higher draft pick in a guy that is really even getting that valued in the offense? So type thing.
Yeah, and he comes from McVay, who doesn't value the tight end very much, and the running backs. I mean, they were 7th round picks as well, so it wasn't. I mean, Gurley was the only one. I think he was.
But Gurley was there before McVay got there, so
right?
He had him to work with. So.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think it just kind of shows you the Bengals, kind of their overall philosophy.
Yep. They're going to pay Burrow.
And the receivers.
Yeah, and heck, it wouldn't surprise me if Chase Brown is legitimate. I mean, if he does flash in training camp, I don't know when you can cut Mixon, but they might still just go ahead and cut Mixon.
Well, I think it's
say Chase Brown. You and Trayvon Williams, you're good enough to hold down this position. We consider about the 11th most important on the offense.
Yeah, I think he has a June 1st roster. So if they like what they see in mini camps and rookie camp, they can cut them and save $7 million. I think it is. June 1st. So we'll see.
For that, I don't see the date on the designation for it, but he does have a roster bonus.
Yeah, I think it's.
Don't see June what the date is there.
1st. I think that's when you can cut, because he could have got cut right around free agency, or he could wait until June 1st. I think it is. It's either June 1st or July 1st, one of those two. I think it's June 1st, and then he gets, the cap hit isn't as bad. But all right, so in order to win, the North and get home field advantage, hopefully throughout the playoffs, we have to get through the other 3 teams, and they had solid drafts as well. But a lot of people like the Steelers. They gave them, a lot of them gave the Steelers an A+, and I saw a lot of A's for the Browns, and B+ for the Ravens. Even saw a couple of them gave the Ravens an A-, and I'm like, huh? But I went Steelers A+, and then B+, B+ for the Ravens and the Browns. I just don't think you can give the Browns an A+ or an A if they don't have a number 1 pick, right? You're making
have a 1 or 2.
Yeah, you're making Cedric Tillman your number 1 pick, and I don't think that's. And then the Ravens just getting. I mean, they got Zay Flowers that will help, especially with OBJ there for just 1 year. It just all depends if Lamar can get off his security blanket, get off his Linus blanket there, and with just Mark Andrews and throw to a wide receiver. So we'll see. What do you guys think of the other 3 teams' drafts?
I really like Pittsburgh's draft. I mean, they know what they're doing when it comes to drafting. I mean, for the most part, the Ravens do too. I didn't think the Browns. I mean, sure, if you want to say because they didn't have their top 2 picks and what they got in the later rounds, if you want to give them an A for that, okay. But overall, it's just an average draft. Same with the Ravens. I mean, they took Zay Flowers, so in theory, that's going to give Lamar an actual wide receiver to finally throw to. But they said the same thing when they took Hollywood Brown 3 years ago in the 1st round. I don't think it's a wide receiver issue. I think it's a Lamar issue, and he'd rather throw to Mark Andrews because, I mean, shoot, I would too. So you can't really blame him there. And then other than that, I don't really see anything else in the later rounds for the Ravens. that you do for the Steelers or the Bengals. So I mean, I'd give the Steelers an A, Ravens a B-, and then Browns a C.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's hard to grade. I mean,
Yeah.
Let's talk about this 3 years from now, and we can really
Exactly,
get a grade. That's
exactly.
always
Yeah,
my take
yeah.
on drafts. They're fun, but I mean, who knows any of these players? Yeah, I mean, the Steelers. I mean, they definitely getting Washington, the tight end, in the third round.
In the third
Third
round,
round,
yeah.
I mean, you're taking that's low risk, high reward there.
Yeah, I guess.
So I'd be all over that. I was hoping the Bengals would take him. I mean, they're talking the third round. He had a first round grade in a lot of analysis. So,
So
and
did
you got
Will Levis.
Porter, another guy who had a first round grade, and get him
Yeah.
in the second round. So, they, from that standpoint, I think the Steelers had the best draft just on paper. Looking at guys of the Bengals and all their value, the Steelers got real value. They got guys who were, rated much higher, and they got them at a lower round. So that's where I think they had the best draft from that standpoint. The Ravens' best player will probably be Simpson, the linebacker, just because he's a Raven linebacker and he'll be a stud. Just because, I mean, he went in the third round and he had a first round grade from some too. So my guess is him and the Chicago Roquan Smith will just tear it up. So, inside. So that worries me, just because what the Ravens do with linebackers and how much they value them and that sort of thing. So yeah, they're all A's and B's. So
Yeah. So before we any surprises of the draft? I mean, you guys want to talk about? I mean, it doesn't have to be Bengal surprises, but anything that you're like going, huh? Or
So
or the
one
best
that,
moments of the draft
that,
or anything like that.
Well, the Bengals fan that
Coin
flipped the
yeah.
coin there. And
That was awesome.
I'm surprised they didn't cut the feed right there. I mean, has anybody checked on that guy? Did Goodell probably put a hit out on him? Did he make it back to Cincinnati safely?
I think he did. I'm not 100% sure, but
but one player that I was surprised went undrafted was Ivan Pace. I was really surprised that he didn't get drafted. I mean, there were guys saying he could go third, fourth round. And then for him to fall out of the draft,
I think his size.
It's his size.
It's his size.
I get it. It's his size, but
he's got a nose for the ball. But
his production was there.
He's going to be a steal. He's a steal as an undrafted free agent because you'll put him on special teams and he'll be a special teams dynamo. He'll tear guys up. The Vikings won out in that big time.
Yeah.
So running backs going as early as they did. Bijan at 8 and Gibbs at 12. That was the one that I was like,
that was the big surprise.
That was because it's like, okay, you could have got him at 18. I mean, he would have been there at 18.
He could have been there for their second round pick.
Yeah.
Well, when was their? Well, no, because their first pick was the Seahawks, wasn't it? That was their.
Yeah.
That's why they were up there that early.
Right.
Okay.
And then a lot of the trade backs. I mean, that was like Arizona traded twice, and a lot of people were trading. And you've got University of Georgia North now with
the Philly Dogs.
The Philly Dogs. So, which I mean, that's what the Bengals' philosophy. They want high character players, team captains, and from programs that compete for national
big time schools.
Yeah, big time schools, and it is what it is. And I think, the person that benefited the most from last year's draft was Stetson Bennett with Brock Purdy, right? Mr. Irrelevant. He goes in, and next thing you know, he's, getting their stuff going, and, Stetson Bennett goes in the fourth round. And, but it is what it is. So, all right, there you have it. Our drafts, our grades, hopefully they produce here in the next couple of years. Hopefully we don't have to rely on these picks right now. If we do, it could be not looking good for our defense, but hopefully Lou can get
unless
them
they
in.
Produce.
Well, what I'm saying is hopefully they can get in and spell some guys and we're not saying, why is he in? Why is he in?
Their role improves because they're actually quality players.
Yeah, exactly. So
I get what you're saying.
I was a little, so we'll see. Hopefully, in year 2 and year 3, then we are saying this was a very, very good draft for him. All right. Speaking of drafts, we're going to go to the trivia now. If you are interested in playing along, you can either email us the answers at csspodcast@yahoo.com, or you can chime in on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene and leave your answers in the comments section, or just DM us right there. So, Crawley, you had last week's question. I believe Sam got them all right, or we got them all right. But go ahead and let's review that real quick.
Yep, I had which 5 NFL quarterbacks, which 5 NFL quarterbacks in Super Bowl era of the NFL won 2 regular season MVPs and also won 2 Super Bowl titles. And the answers were Brady, Montana, Young, Manning, and Mahomes. That is Peyton Manning, not Eli. So
Eli did win 2 Super Bowls, but
he did. Not the MVPs though.
Nope. All right, so Sam, it's this week you have the trivia question.
Yeah, so this is a little fun one that I got from MLB.com, but it is, who is the current active leader in birthday home runs? Ooh. So out of current guys, who has hit the most home runs on their birthday?
Somebody just did that yesterday or the day before, I think.
Yeah, it was Aaron Judge. But he is not the leader.
Okay. Not Machado, is it?
It's not Machado, no. He has 5 career birthday home runs.
The leader does?
The leader does, yes. Yep.
Trout?
Yep, it's Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
I figured it just had to be somebody with a lot of home runs, period. It wasn't going to be Jason Gosler. So
Ken Griffey Jr. had probably the most Father's Day home runs, right? Because every time Ken Sr. was in the stands, he hit number 500 on Father's Day, and then
he had 500 on.
I thought he hit
Father's
number
Day.
600 on Father's Day as well, but
I don't think so. No.
Maybe it was something else that he hit on. I think he had another one on Father's Day, but. All right, so next week we'll review that, and you can put your answers in as well. Or if you have a trivia question you'd like us to read on air, you can go ahead and just submit that at Cincy Sports Scene. You can send us a DM on Twitter or Instagram, and we will include that. All right, our topic of the week is sports records that will never be broken. So we picked some records that we think will never be broken in our, ever. And, so we'll see where we're at here. I don't know how you guys did it, but I just listed, I went through 15. I got 15 individual records, and then I have 4 team records. But I'm probably missing some on both. I know I'm missing some on the individual records, but yeah.
I made a top 10 list, and so I just had top 10 overall.
Yeah, I just wrote some down. I didn't come up with a list or importance or anything.
Okay.
But I don't know about you guys, but I think most of my unbreakable ones are in baseball.
Yeah, a lot of them are in baseball.
Right.
Yeah. I have a lot, but I added a few that I thought in other sports that may not be broken.
Yeah, I did too.
All right. All right. So who wants to go? So Sam, why don't you go first? Since you,
do we ultimately want to try to make a top 3 or something, top 5?
Yeah, we can do that. We got the producer here tonight. He can get on sheets or something, and
we better do top 3 then. I don't know if he can count to 5. So.
We know he can't spell.
Right. Yeah. So we better do top 3 if we can agree on that. So.
So, all right, I'll go ahead and get us started.
All
So
right.
Benjamin doesn't start crying and storm out.
You better watch out. Mom listens to this podcast. She's gonna yell at me tonight, and she'll yell at you too, Sam. So,
Well, did Benjamin even hit record? Or are we sure this is recorded?
Yeah, we
Is Mom
sure.
gonna be-
Yes, we're 15 minutes in. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So my number one, it's two. They're tied together. It's Cy Young's win-loss. Nobody's getting over 300 career losses. You're not going to get that opportunity, and no one's getting 500 whatever career wins. I don't know if we'll see another 300 game winner.
Right.
Yeah, because Verlander's the closest. And
right.
he's what?
I don't even think
30,
he has 200.
No, he's got 260
Does he?
some. Yeah,
Okay.
I
But
think.
he's
Let me-
39. He's not pitching 3 more years to
he's
get the record.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean
Wow.
those are my
Yeah.
two. Nope, those are. I mean,
Those
are done.
I mean,
I
they're
put
sealed.
those number one on mine. So
Yeah.
wins and complete games, 749 complete games.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
all of Cy Young's
Yeah,
counting
no one's
stats.
touching
I mean,
yeah, I didn't put him
yeah.
in any order. I was just like coming off the top of my head, but that was, if it, that is up there. I mean, I like that one a lot. To go with that, I put Walter Johnson's 110 career shutouts. Nobody's touching that
Yeah,
anymore
no,
because they don't.
No one's going to have that
Yeah.
many complete games, let
No.
alone shutouts.
Well, those things,
Yeah.
those go together. It's all about
Right. Yeah, all about
pitchers don't
that,
pitch
yeah.
anymore like that. so.
Right. That's true. So, all right, Crawley.
My second one was Ripken's consecutive games played.
Yep.
Again,
Yep.
players don't play anymore, so no one's going to play that. They're going to
No
take
one plays
days off.
162, let alone for.
I mean,
Right.
why
10
was
plus
Jonathan
years.
India sitting out today? I mean, again, he was playing a
Yeah.
left-hander. He's batting. He doesn't need a
Yeah.
freaking day off. I mean,
No.
today.
No.
I mean,
Put him- if you're gonna give him a
to
day
play
off-
Matt Reynolds.
DH him.
Yeah.
DH
They
him.
played
Yeah.
Matt
I
Reynolds
know.
today. I
I
mean,
know.
why? What the heck?
And-
That's-
yeah.
So anyway, that's a side note, but
Yeah.
but and that just tells you there's no way no one's touching Ripken. So
Yeah. And
So
I had
that's
that
why-
one as well on my list.
so there's my
Um,
next one.
All right, so I had to go with all of that is Nolan Ryan's career strikeout 5,714. I don't think anybody's touching that. I mean,
Yeah, because the longevity of it.
right,
You know, there's guys that are. I mean, strikeouts are up, but
but
what he pitched 20 plus years.
yeah, 20 plus years. He
Yeah.
had 383 strikeouts in 1 year, and he's going 8-9 innings every
Yeah.
night. And you're not getting that. So
Yeah.
So you're not sniffing that. I mean, now the one thing, I mean, depending on the longevity, right? I mean, because some of these pitchers are getting 10 strikeouts through 6-7 innings. If they can get 10, 11 every every time, they might get close. But I mean, they got to pitch 20 years.
I think the one that's the single season. I think that's the one more likely to be broken. Would be the single season
Oh, right,
strikeout.
Yeah,
Not
383.
careers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
I
still.
I didn't
a lot
even put-
of
Cole
I
a
didn't
couple
put that
years
on my
ago
list
had like
even.
340.
Yeah,
I didn't put that on my list.
But
The single season
yeah.
one. So
yeah.
no, I did
Yeah,
put
I think-
with Nolan Ryan, and maybe even more unbreakable than the one you just said.
no-hitters?
Well,
The
is the
7?
no hitters, because
Yeah.
nobody will pitch 9 innings to get a no hitter. So, so that I think that's almost near. That's another one that's almost near impossible. Because
Yeah.
I mean they pull guys that are pitching no hitters. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
My next one is just stick with baseball. We can get all the baseball ones out of the way
Yeah,
first.
we can.
So the Barry Bonds intentional walks.
Mm.
Nobody's coming close to that. I don't even know what the number is, but he's got more intentional walks than the Rays do as an organization. So, I mean, no
Yeah,
individual is going to.
I didn't put any Barry Bonds stats on because I didn't.
Well, I didn't want to put his home runs, but I mean,
Yeah.
intentional
Yeah,
walks.
intentional walks.
that's-
Yeah.
I mean, but
But that's a byproduct
home
of
runs
his home
too.
runs. So
Yeah.
So yeah. But
but home runs too. I don't think anybody will break that either. But
I think that's
more
breakable.
debatable.
because guys hit a lot of
Yeah.
home runs now. So I didn't put any of the home runs or any of that stats on there because I think those are breakable because they hit so many home runs a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the single season home run records of 73. Yeah, I mean, Judge got close. I mean,
Yeah.
what, 62, 63?
Yeah.
I think
You
that
know.
one's more attainable than the career.
The career, yeah.
Because I mean,
Um,
you look at like current guys who you're like, okay, who's going to hit 500? I mean, you know, the candidates are Mike Trout. He's at 350 something, 360. I mean, Judge is only in the hundreds. So, I mean, you think of these big time sluggers. I mean, I think Nelson Cruz is the closest that hasn't already gotten it. And he's at 460, 470. And he's,
well,
I mean, he's done.
Miggy is at over
Yeah.
500, but
He's over five,
done.
but he's done. He's not getting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
seven,
No.
whatever. So
No. So, I mean, with that, I had Pete Rose's, right? I mean,
Yep.
4,256 hits.
nobody even gets 200 hits in a season anymore.
Not anymore
They
since
yeah,
They
Ichiro.
don't play enough. Again, it all goes back
yeah,
to
they don't
just
play
not
enough,
playing.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And, you know,
And they don't care enough about
right.
base hits, right?
Right.
They, yeah.
Now with, you know, I mean, there might be, you know, I mean, you know, looking up stats, you know, I was surprised Votto, I mean, he hasn't gotten 2,000 hits yet, has he?
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, wow. You know, I mean, he's considered one of the best hitters.
He walks too much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's
Yeah.
not, he's got over 1,000 career walks.
Yeah.
So you half that, he's got 2,500 hits, but he,
Yeah.
you know,
He'd rather walk. Yeah.
he'd rather just get on base.
All right. Next, any other baseball ones?
That's all my baseball ones.
I have DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak. I don't think anybody's going to break that just because,
Yeah.
you know, the closest person was Rose, and that was in 78 with 44. I mean, then Molitor had one at 31. And then there was a guy 2
Jimmy
years
Rollins
ago.
had a pretty high
He
one
had
in
30
the mid-2000s.
He had 33,
30.
38, something like
I
that.
thought somebody
somewhere
had
out
like
there.
36. Didn't Benito Santiago? Wasn't he in the 30s?
I don't know
thought
if he
he was-
was or not, but
Thought he was in
that's
the
still
30s.
20
Yeah.
hits
Joe
away,
Mauer.
20
Joe,
games.
Joe Mauer, I think, was in the 30s one time. So
Yeah. So, but they said the closest was Rose with
Yeah, right,
44.
right.
But,
Yeah.
So I don't think that one's going to get broken just because, you know, come the sixth inning, you got all these relievers and
Yeah.
it's hard to get hit off of people throwing 100.
yeah,
Yes.
I don't, and it's true. It probably will not, but I guess to me, it's not near as impossible because it's a one-off. You know, you could just one-off. All of a sudden, you're just the hottest hitter in the forever and ever. Whereas these longevity ones, these career longevity ones, are literally impossible because
Yeah.
they don't play. I mean, they don't play enough to do it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you could get, you know, Trey Turner just has an unbelievable hot streak for 2 months and goes off, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
That is possible. It is
Yeah.
not
Yeah, that's
possible
true.
for anybody to get Ripken's consecutive
No.
games and the Walter
Well,
Johnson.
what about
Cy Young.
Ichiro's single season hits? You guys, what is that? 260, 262, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. That's
I don't think anybody's going
A
to
lot.
get that in a single
A
season.
A lot, but again, I still think it's
Yeah.
it's possible.
yeah.
gonna-
Any other
That's where I'm comparing kind of impossible ones
Yeah.
to possible ones.
Yeah. Any other baseball ones you guys have? Because I have a couple more.
I do not.
Sam, do
I-
you?
I eliminated any ones that I thought was possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess going off of Crawley's criteria, I'll cross some of mine off because in theory, it's plausible, I guess, but I don't think it would be likely.
So I have, and this one because pitchers don't go long enough. You know, you said the 7 no hitters. Johnny Vandermeer's back-to-back no hitters. I don't think that'll ever happen again. Then I have Ricky Henderson's 1,406 stolen bases in a career. That's probably not happening.
Yeah, that's not.
And
Well,
then,
I don't know.
you know,
I mean, I agree. It probably won't, but with the new rule,
Well, it would have to be a
you stolen
philosophical
bases.
change. Yeah.
Stolen
Yeah.
bases are going to be creeping up quite a bit. So
Yeah, but
You know, if you
that's
get
got to
an-
creep up a heck of a
Yeah.
lot more, and
I'm
then somebody
saying.
has to
But
be
you're gonna
on
have a
base a
whole
lot. So
but you're gonna have a whole new philosophy. You know, that just this year is year one
Yeah,
of
it's
this.
going to be
So,
somebody
Yeah.
that's not in the bigs right now
Yeah.
because nobody in the
Yeah,
big leagues now,
but
they're off the pace.
yeah, you're gonna have.
But,
I
I mean,
bet you have 100 base stealer in the next 10 years. So
yeah, but we've had 100 base stealers in the past, and no one. I mean, it was Lou Brock, it was Maury Wills, Lou Brock, and Ricky Henderson.
well, those guys weren't
Right.
good enough. They weren't as good as Ricky Henderson to get on base enough. So
Well, but what I'm saying is Lou Brock was the leader until Ricky Henderson passed, right? Lou
Yeah.
Brock had 900 and some or 800 and some, something like that. You know, I mean, Vince Coleman was a prolific base stealer, but you know, I mean, he didn't last.
Well, I'm
long
not saying
enough,
somebody's
right?
gonna break it.
Yeah,
I just think it's
yeah,
of those career ones, that one. But I'm speaking because of the new rule that those
yeah,
rule changes have made it
yeah,
more possible. Not gonna happen. I'm saying it's
Right.
more possible
right.
than it was a year ago. So
And then this one, you know, it hasn't been done since the 30s, right? Hack Wilson's 191 RBIs in a season. I mean,
Yeah, that's the one that I was I mean, yeah, somebody could, I guess. Like, you know, that goes
Could.
to plausibility, but I don't think anybody ever will. The
the closest not active player, but the closest recent player was Manny Ramirez in 95. He had 166, I believe it was. And no one has gotten, you know, he was 15th on the list or 16th on the list. And everybody else it's
still the philosophical thing. You'd rather, instead of hit a gapper, you'd rather swing for the fences.
Right.
So I mean, there's guys like Joey Gallo who at 1 year he hit 40 home runs and had 81 RBIs.
right.
Like
That's Adam Dunn, you know. So
Dunn had more RBIs than that though. Dunn was closer to 100 RBIs.
Yeah, Dunn had a lot of
solo shots.
Solo shots. Yeah. In the eighth inning when we're down 7 runs, you know, so you couldn't hit that when runners on second and third and we're down 2 runs, but no. But all right, so that wraps up all the baseball ones. I guess you go football next because there's a couple that probably will never be broken in football.
I actually had no football.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't put anything.
I didn't put any team ones down because I think all the team ones are possible.
Well, no, this is individual. You, Crawley, of all people, did not put this one down.
Nope. What
Jerry Rice's career reception.
I think that's
guys catch
the way that the passing
catches
game
are crazy these days, and so you just need somebody to play it forever. You just need that's the key. Guys are catching as many per season as Jerry Rice. They just don't play long enough. So
22,895 yards. You think that's going to be broken?
It could be. You just need a guys are getting the per year averages that Jerry Rice did. You need a guy to play freaking 25 years or whatever Jerry Rice did. So I'm not, so
I don't even think it would take that. I think it would take 15 high level. If Justin Jefferson plays the way he does for 15 years,
130 catches every year. Justin Jefferson, if he plays 20 years, it's a big if, but if he plays 20 years, he could do it. So I think because I didn't put that on there
as his quarterback.
Well, he's doing it with him now.
Well, that's, I guess.
I'm just saying that's why all the football records. I looked at a bunch of them today, and I said I'm not putting these in because
all
these offensive records
rings are going to get
all these
broken?
offensive records are possible to be broken because offense is at the highest it's ever been. So in terms of on a per year basis,
can't touch anybody anymore. So
I didn't put any. So that's where I eliminated all the football ones. I think is why. Even I saw that one. I saw the Rice ones.
I think that's the only
probably even Emmitt Smith's. I mean, his all time. I didn't put it down, but Emmitt Smith's all time rushing record because nobody runs the ball anymore, and so it's probably not going to be.
That's the one that I think won't get broken because high level running backs are around 5 to 7 years.
Right. So I think
that's it.
That one's tougher than any of the throwing ones. I didn't put any Brady ones or anything because guys throw the ball so much. So.
Yeah, but Brady, how many rings does he have? He's 7. You think that'll be broken?
That one, probably,
probably not.
It's possible.
I mean, Mahomes is off to a pretty good start.
Yeah,
I hope he
yeah,
doesn't get
Mahomes
it for
per-
crying out
per-
loud.
Yeah, I
I
hope he
mean,
doesn't get it. But
yeah.
His rate is equals Brady. So
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, I didn't put
football,
any football. So I don't know.
The only
I don't know if
team
Sam
football one. The only team football one I put, and I don't know if this will take the Tampa Bay Bucks 26 game losing streak back in the 70s. I don't know if it's tough. Detroit was close, but
Cleveland was pretty close too.
yeah, but 26 in a row. That's
Tough.
That's too.
A lot of
quite two
parity in
seasons.
the NFL,
Yeah.
so that's
There
tough
is,
to-
but with the
so.
increased emphasis on tanking, though, it
Wow.
wouldn't surprise me if that. Well,
Yeah, but
you're still going to get one though.
yeah,
You know,
that's
the issue.
You're going to be like Jim Caldwell and say, "Screw you! I'm going to win this game." Screw the
Lovie
Texans.
Smith.
That was Lovie
Or
Smith.
Lovie Smith,
Yeah.
not Jim Caldwell. Yeah, sorry, he's there now, but yeah. Lovie Smith, screw you! We're going to win this game.
Yeah,
I mean,
number one draft pick.
Yeah.
Who cares? No,
Who
we don't
cares?
want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to be there, so
Yeah.
you guys can sit up for number 2. All right, so other sports things. Where do you want to go?
I got some
go ahead,
basketball ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't
my
have any
top-
basketballs.
Do what?
I said I didn't have any basketballs.
Oh.
I thought about putting basketballs.
So my
I have
top
team
basketball,
basketballs, but
my top basketball was Will Chamberlain, 50.4 points a game in a season. I mean,
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
no one's even. That's basically impossible. You've had the best basketball players in the history of basketball and over the last 20 years, and nobody's
The
even,
closest was Michael Jordan, and he was at like 36 and a half, I think.
Yeah. I mean, James
might have been
Harden
at 37,
in the past 20
yeah.
years was the tops, and he was like 35 or something. So
Yeah.
no one's touching 50.4 points a game. So
I don't know.
Well, part of it,
What's
they
his
don't play
name?
long enough in games.
Yeah.
The top minutes guys are at 36 minutes a game.
Right.
So
I put that as my first basketball one.
I didn't
Yeah,
put
that's
that.
a
I
good
thought
one.
about that, and I thought about the 100-point game, but I was like, well, Kobe
the
100
was
100-point
close.
game
That could be broken. That's not.
That could be broken. That's why I didn't put it. But the 50.4, I was like, yeah, but that could be broken too. I mean,
I don't.
mean, it's going to be, yeah, but
I mean, when your
it'll
second
be,
place is 36 or something, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
that's points in
Yeah.
between when you're talking per game. So
yep. I mean,
so I put
is.
that
It
as
is.
I have 1, 2. I have one more NBA one. So I don't know if
The
Sam
one
has
that
any.
I've got, so whatever Steph Curry's, however many threes he ends up with, that's one that's not going to be touched. I mean, because he's got, the way he plays, he could play another 7 to 10 years and just keep adding 200 threes a season, if not more. I mean, that one's not coming close to being broken.
Probably not.
No.
The argument would be just everybody shoots threes. So if you get another Steph Curry somewhere along the way, so
Right.
But yes,
And
probably
Steph
not.
Curry wasn't Steph Curry coming out of college. So, I mean, he could shoot, but nobody thought he would be this good.
Yeah. And my other
So-
one is similar to the Chamberlain one. It's Bill Russell, 24.8 rebounds a game per season.
That's yeah.
So again, the top guys are 13, 14, and that's the top you've gotten over the past forever, basically.
Yeah.
Even Shaq and those guys that have, unbelievable rebounders, they're nowhere close to that. So
What about Stockton's career assist?
That one won't be either. The career assists, it won't. I think the active guy is Chris Paul, and he's like 3,000 behind, 4,000 behind him. So it's.
And Chris Paul's played a long time too.
Yeah, he's played a long time. Yeah.
So, yeah.
and then probably,
the way the point guard position's played now,
Right.
it's a scoring position.
It's a scoring position, right? It's the, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
also
score.
if your point guard's not your best scorer, you've got a wing who essentially runs point, right?
Yeah.
Like LeBron James is a point guard. Like I know everybody says he's a forward. Like the offense runs through him. He's a point guard. So,
yeah,
that's how the game's played now. So.
Any team?
I didn't put it down, but probably the Celtics. How many championships? 8 championships in a row.
Well, because they're
in a
going to
row.
keep adding to it.
So no
Yeah.
one's
No, it was 8 in a
no
row.
one's-
Oh,
Yeah,
8 in a row. Oh, God. I
Eight
see
in a
what you're
row.
saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So no one's
Yeah.
gonna do
No.
that either.
Mm-mm.
But I didn't put it down because I mean it's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
but it probably isn't. I mean, I'd be very,
The Warriors are
these
the
super
current
teams.
ones with one.
Yeah, these
So-
super teams that you've had. I
Right.
mean, you can't really
Yeah.
do much more because of the cap and stuff with the super teams and what you're already getting, and they're not winning every year. So
Nope.
Well, and
So
there's
I have-
just more teams.
Yeah.
There's not
Well, that's
8
true.
to 10
Yeah.
teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had 3 basketball things. I had UConn Lady Huskies 111 straight victories. I don't think that's being touched. I mean, South Carolina,
Yeah.
they lost. I mean, and they were freaking
Well, the parity's
loaded.
there. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
and that's
reason
the thing,
parity's
right.
there. Yeah.
Right. And then UCLA 7 NCAA championships in a row to go along with.
Yep.
um,
I didn't even think of college. I wasn't even looking at college.
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, and I didn't even
Yeah.
check, Pistol Pete's scoring average, right? 44 points.
Well,
a
that's
game.
one that came pretty close to being broken, but it's one of those bogus, because the kid got the COVID year and
Yeah,
he played 5 years,
right.
but even then he didn't get it. He finished like 14 points short, I think.
Well, no, I'm talking
a season,
average
single
scoring
game, single season.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
44
Okay. I see what you're
points
saying.
a game without the 3-point shot.
Yeah.
So think about that. I mean, who knows
Well,
what?
I had one more NBA one. I think the
Okay.
regular season wins, the 73. I don't think that will. In part because I think at some point the season's going to get shorter. Whether
don't
it's the
know.
70 games or I think at some point down the line that's coming.
That's going to
But
cut into
also,
the
Teams don't
bottom
play
line.
their guys though.
well, but they're going to start if they won awards, right? 'Cause
They
it's
only have
gonna
to
be
get to 65. That's still 20 games you can take off if you have 6 games that you miss with legitimate injuries.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that one could, because if a team gets on a roll, I mean, they may want to go for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be a team that's never won a championship before, because any team that's won they're not. Why would you? You see the Lakers with their championship experience will roll in as a 7 seed. The Heat will roll in as the 8 seed, play-in team. Warriors as the 6 seed. Like you can go Milwaukee's route and then you're gassed. So who cares? What's the point?
Name in the record book. That's the point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Any other? So no more basketballs. Any other sports then?
Wayne Gretzky's
Yep.
total points.
I had that
Total
third
points.
overall.
Yeah, total points. Yeah.
Total points, and I also had his career assists too.
I actually just had
yeah.
assist because
Yeah.
that's what was so much. That was the
Yeah.
unbelievable element of it.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, he has more career assists than
anybody else has goals or points.
Yeah,
points.
something like that.
Yeah,
Points.
points.
Yeah, points. Yeah.
Yeah. If you take
1,900.
If you take all his goals away, he still leads. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is any other ones?
Another one it's just kind of up for debate, but Michael Phelps's gold
I
medals.
put it on there.
Yeah,
um,
23.
Yeah,
I put 28
mean,
Olympic
yeah.
medals too. Overall
Yeah,
Olympic
and I had that as
28.
well. Yeah, I had 23 gold and 28 overall.
I debated on whether or not to put that because in theory another swimmer could come along, right? And
What's
I don't
Ledecky
know,
at?
Nowhere close.
but
Nowhere
I don't
close,
even know if
I
she's in double digits.
No, because she swims those long distance ones, and so
Yeah.
there's only so many of those.
Oh,
She
yeah.
doesn't swim the. When you're a sprinter, there's 14 different events you can do, and she can only do
Right.
like 2 or 3 of them because
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
7-time Olympic gold.
yeah,
Yeah, so
not even
Yeah.
close. I think second place has like 9 or something,
yeah,
or
Spitz
11 or
has
something like that. So
Mark Spitz.
And it has to be a swimmer because track
Yeah.
guys, they don't do enough
there's
events.
enough
No.
events.
No.
Yeah, it would have to be a swimmer. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Off
I
the top of
had-
my head.
I had 2 more that were
Yeah.
sports we haven't said.
On
Yeah.
sports records.
Kind of, yeah.
Most beers drank in a night.
Yeah. I had Secretariat winning by 31 lengths in
At the Belmont.
at the Belmont. So
73.
no
I
one's
had that
even-
one.
no one's come close to that. Not even close.
Mm-mm.
And then the other one I had was Byron Nelson,
Ha!
won 11 PGA
What
victories in a row, and no one again has come close to that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had
Those are
Byron
those two.
Nelson's. It was the same year. I had Byron Nelson's 18 victories in a single season.
yeah, I just think the in a row thing is the
Yeah.
the most impressive part of it. So
Yeah. So I had that as well. I had Secretariat and Byron Nelson. And then the other one I had, and this one, it could happen, but I don't know if it will. I just don't think it will. Jack Nicklaus's 18 career major victories. Tiger was at what, 15, 16, 15, something like that.
I thought it was
14, 15. I thought
Yeah,
his last
maybe
Masters
15,
was
yeah.
15.
Yeah.
And he was the most dominant golfer since Jack, right? And and he didn't get it. I mean, there's just too much parity now. I mean, these young kids. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing, is the parity. Yeah.
yeah, it's like there's just too many good golfers now, and you don't have that 11 in a row like Byron Nelson or 3 in a row anymore. I mean, and with Koepka, when he had his going to the Live Tour, and Rory just seems he can't win a major.
Right, and Spieth had the little run there.
Yeah,
Scheffler last year.
yeah.
But, I mean, yeah.
John Rahm, but he's
I mean,
sporadic.
He's got two Masters
yeah.
in the U.S. Open. Yeah.
So, I mean,
the thing that would be in their favor, right, is you can play golf a long time.
yes.
So, I mean, that's the longevity is not the issue there, like it is.
No,
in
but
these other sports.
the parity now.
The parity.
I
Yeah.
mean, and so
But if
that's
you get a guy that wins one every other year, it's gonna have a shot. But yeah, that's the key.
right. I mean, there for a while, what was it? There was a new major. Was it the Masters that were like 5 years in a row that a rookie won it, or no, it wasn't the Masters.
It was
like
not a rookie, but a first time major winner.
first time major winner,
Yeah.
like 5 times in a row or something like that.
I think it was the PGA.
Yeah, something, but
Yeah.
So I mean, it's you can PGA it, but I think that one may never get. I mean, it might, but I think that's going to be one of those. You'll have to have somebody like a Tiger Woods come through again, and I don't
this
know.
Era, that's
hard to do,
impossible.
right? Because these kids aren't afraid. I mean, right? These young golfers aren't afraid of.
Well, you could take any of the top 10 guys right now, you plug them into the mid 90s, and they're doing what Tiger did.
Yeah,
They're pretty close to it,
Pretty
just
close.
because the level of competition elsewhere
right,
isn't the same.
right.
Another one that I have is soccer related. Leo Messi, 91 goals in a calendar year. I don't think that's going to get touched. Because not only do you have to have club season success, you have to have club tournament success. You have to go make a deep run in the World Cup or the Euros or whatever your international team is doing. It's a whole lot of stuff that you're gonna have to do in order to even come close to that. So I didn't want to say career, because I think Erling Haaland's gonna make a run for it once it's all said and done. But he won't get the single season because he plays for Norway, and they're never going to make a deep run in any tournament. So he won't sniff it.
Yeah, I didn't put. I mean, one I was thinking about, but I didn't put on. And this is where Farr could probably yell at me, but the Canadians 5 Stanley Cups in a row. I just think because didn't Tampa Bay?
They
won
won
like 2 in a row, and they were in the third. So
they were in
yeah. So I mean, I'm like, that could happen. I don't know, but It could. So, any others for the good of the order? Nope. All right. Those of you that are listening out there or watching on YouTube, we want to say thank you for your support. Hit that like, subscribe button, and that helps us out a lot getting out there. If you have people that are Cincy fans, please send them our way. We are excited about this, and hopefully we can grow our audience and take it on the road one of these days when Sam gets back into Cincinnati. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at doing. If you have any of the records that you think aren't going to be broken, go ahead and leave a comment here on YouTube or on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene. So just want to say next week's show we'll be live again, and it's going to be the biggest clutch moments in sports. So we'll look at what we would consider a clutch moment in sports, and does that rank like the top 5 or so. Speaking of top 5, we didn't let our producer write anything down here. Do we want to real quick with the top 3? Do we want to come to consensus, or do we want to just wrap it up and say put it out to a poll and see if any of our listeners and followers would vote?
Oh, I would say in 1, baseball pitching stats is just number 1. I mean,
Okay.
because you could pick any 3 and
Right.
that would be your top 3. So you could just put those in 1. And then, 2, 3, I don't know. Hit streak, maybe 2. And
What about Ripken streak?
Ripken streak, yeah.
So baseball 1. So any baseball
Yeah.
stat would be 1.
Yeah, any baseball stat is going to be
The
1.
career
Yeah.
stat, those career stats.
Yeah, those
yeah.
career baseball
That's-
stats 1. Okay. Yeah, and maybe
2 would
2,
be
I-
Wilt's single season, I think.
I think
Average.
that,
one?
and then Gretzky. I think Wilt's
Gretzky's,
scoring
yeah.
per game and
All right.
Gretzky's assist.
Yeah.
So baseball career stats. You got that down?
Yes.
Okay, and then we
I'd
have,
go Gretzky 2. So Gretzky's points.
and then points or assists? Probably assist, right?
I mean, either one, really.
Or both.
I would say either one. I don't know enough about hockey, but I'd assume either one.
And then it would be Wilt's.
Well, it's single season.
Yeah,
50, whatever.
50.4.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. So those are our 3. If you think of any, we'll get this out there to our Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and go ahead and we'll have you vote on what you think is the most unbreakable record. So until then, until next week, we'll be back. Hopefully the Reds will take 4 out of 6 this week, and we'll have another good season. So until next week, I'm Dave, and for Sam and Crawley, have a wonderful week. Take care.
See you.
See ya.